What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck. All right. Oh, it is nice to see you all's lovely face again. It's been a lot going on, but I literally wanted to do a reaction to this because I've only seen like 30 minutes of this video. Let me tell y'all something right now. NiqueatNite has the patience of a turtle dove, because this has to be probably one of the most confusing and almost borderline frustrating interviews that I've ever seen on her channel. NiqueatNite, is it NiqueatNite? I hope I'm saying that right. I sent a message, a comment on her video, on this video that I have up here, basically asking her if I can do a reaction to this. What you're seeing is the grandmother. This is the paternal grandmother of the lady Alexis that went viral for turning her 5 children over to CPS. 5 children. One of the children is a little boy, is the grandson to Reverend Faith E. Cobb, who is the paternal grandmother. Her son, unfortunately, is no longer with us. He passed away. I don't know all of the intricacies about that situation, but he's no longer with us. So he's not here, you know, to go get his son. And the video of the girl Alexis turning over her 5 children to CPS went viral. So I saw that video on Carlos King's YouTube channel. And as a mother of, you know, any mother out there, you would be concerned to see a mother, which is a rarity in to me. I don't oftentimes come across people or videos where the mother is just voluntarily turning over her children to CPS like that and then willing to go live. Because oftentimes, you know, that even though I would rather her do that than to bring any physical harm or use anything SACA on any child whatsoever. And I've certainly yelled at my phone many a times when I watch these true crime videos about how you have parents taking out their own children, you know, when it could have been avoided by them simply just giving them up. So I know I have said that many a times. I would rather someone choose to not procreate, or at the very least give away the child to another family member or the other parent, or just turn them over to CPS, to a safe haven zone. A lot of states have laws with they call safe havens or safety nets, or however it's termed, where basically, you know, you can turn your children over, no questions asked, no judgment, and, you know, they won't charge you with neglect or abandonment. You know, if you honestly feel like you're not in a position to take care of a child and you think it would be in the child's best interest to turn them over to CPS or to give up custodial rights, you know, you can take them to a fire station, police station, a hospital, or any, you know, just turn them over in a safe haven location. But what this young lady did was she went to CPS, allegedly, that's how it appears anyway, from what I've seen, and gave up her rights and submitted them over to CPS. I don't know why she would want to have 5 kids. Don't have children you can't afford. This is why it's nothing wrong with someone saying, I'd rather not have a kid at all than he can go through all that, through pregnancy, give birth, do all this stuff. You got this bond relationship with your child. Hopefully you've developed. The child has 4 other siblings. So you got 4 kids, small kids together. Now, it's different if they're getting older and, you know, one's got his foot in high school, the one's got his foot in college. You know, they're getting older, they're maturing, they're years apart, you know, and it's just, they're old enough to decide what they want to do. You know, as a parent with 2 teenagers, or at least a teenager and a preteen, that's what I'm having to experience. 4 years apart, Sometimes they mature and grow apart in separate ways, but the aspect of them being close is not determined by physical location. It's determined by how they treat each other. What did we raise them to do? How did we raise them to treat one another, to respect one another, to love one another, support one another? You know, if you are away from each other, do you call each other? Do you text each other? That's an indication you're close. Not because you're forced to be stuck together physically all the time. You can have siblings be stuck together for 18 years and never have to part ways at all and still grow up and may drift apart. That can happen. You might have some siblings that live apart and then they get older and decide to be in each other's lives and become close as ever. And they never physically live together at all. So we can't limit how we develop these relationships and how our children develop their relationships with their siblings. But I do know when it comes to younger children, a lot of times the state doesn't like to separate them. Here's a situation where you have this grandmother here being asked, you know, from what I've seen so far, I've only seen like 30, 40 minutes of this video, and it's 2.5 hours long. Being asked, basically, are you going to get your grandson? And the answer, it always seems to be convoluted to me, and I don't like that. And she's, you know, a reverend, calling herself titled herself a reverend. That's a straightforward answer. It's yes or no. And from just the little that I've gotten in, I'm lost. I'm confused. I'm a little irritated because she's not answering that question directly. And she seems to be more so caught up in, and listen, let me tell you something. I never want to know what it feels like to lose a child. Heaven forbid that happens. I will reshift the gravitational pull of this planet. It's got to be some pain that is beyond this world. And I don't wish that on anyone. And I hate that this lady is going through that. I hate that this lady, Reverend Faith Ecop, I hate that she's going through the grief of losing a child. Especially when, as a mother, you feel deep down inside that the circumstances surrounding your child's death is not resolved. But I do understand right now that this is a matter of simply, you have a grandson that your son, from my understanding, is his only child. Her son's only child is the grandson. That is somewhere out there. And when asked, are you going to go and get custody of him? You continue to beat around that bush. You don't think your son would want you to take care of his child? I don't know what. This isn't difficult. It's not difficult. File an emergency petition for custody. The girl literally gave up 5 children, live streamed it, and it went viral. What more evidence do you need? And then file a TPO. File a petition to get a TPO against her. If you think that your physical life and safety is in danger, get a TPO. Set it up to where she can't come within 100 feet, no matter where you are. If you're a reverend, so it sounds like you go to church a lot. So when you do that TPO, the petition for the TPO, I don't want this girl near my home, the child's school, the child's daycare, my church, other places I visit regularly. She is not permitted to be anywhere near me. And if she does, guess what? She'll be violating that order and they will lock her up. And that's it. It's not hard to do these things. If it's what you need to do right now temporarily, then you need to do that, lady. Do what you need to do. But there should be no excuse in you filing an emergency petition for custody of your grandson, especially when you have a viral video of the child's mother sending them over to CPS. What arrangements did they make that quick where they can't find this little boy and give him to you? Get you an attorney and file an emergency petition for custody and a TPO. You think she's making threats? If that's what you're alleging, get an attorney and get a TPO. Most TPOs are 12 months. At at least that will give you time to get sole custody of your grandson, legal and physical custody, because she clearly has proven that she does not want these children. And this is a prime opportunity for you to file those petitions to get custody. So I don't understand why that's not a straightforward answer for her. And I really wish she would talk to an attorney. Reverend Faith E. Cobb, you need to get an attorney, because the things you're saying is not making sense. And that's not how it works. You can file an emergency petition. When it comes to custody matters with children, you can get a hearing within 48 to 72 hours, man. A TPO is the same thing. You can get a hearing within 48 to 72 hours. If you do it as an emergency, you show that judge, here's a viral video of the mama giving up these 5 kids. One of them is my grandson. My son is no longer here with us. He's deceased. He can't claim his son. I'm here to get my son. I want sole legal and physical custody. Her giving these kids up to CPS is her way of revoking her custodial rights. So I want custody of him. And that's it. And I want a TPO because she has a history of being violent, making threats, and I don't know what she'll do to me and possibly to the child. So we're going to go ahead and get a TPO as well. They will do all that in the same hearing. What are you talking about? I don't get why you make it like in y'all see in this video. It's almost like she makes it difficult, and it's 2 other people in this. It come up in the Zoom. It gets real messy and chaotic a little bit. And like I said, Nikki she did her best, Lord, trying to keep things in perspective. But we just gonna skim through this because it's 2 hours. It's over 2 hours long, and Nikki literally has a comment on here. I'm gonna pull up, explaining why she's stated that she was gonna take this video down in the next 24 to 48 hours. And I'm just like, God, please don't do that. But let's go through this. Ugh.
Okay, of the video, I'm just gonna share a little bit because the video's gone viral. You kind of get the idea of it. If you don't recall, then look it up later.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna play a little bit of it here now.
Look it up later.
So this is her at CPS to drop off her children.
5 of them. Everybody's not meant to procreate. Everybody's not meant to be a parent.
Because this is
and you got parents on you fighting and
this is
stuff.
Hard. Like, this is killing me. Yeah. But it's for the better. Like, it's for me to
fighting for my kids, and I'm being dragged to court for no reason.
On my
schooling,
my career, my health.
Tell me why I'm
my
there.
health, so I don't fucking die because I can't do shit for them if I'm dead. I can't stop stressing if I don't have help.
Y'all know in the Lady Luck Club, I try to avoid a whole lot of profanity. Because I do believe that you can utilize the English language without having to do profanity to that extent. But clearly, you all hear, like, she's just, like I said, I would rather her do this than to actually cause physical harm upon these children or anything worse to them, like heinous stuff. I would rather she just give them up. But you have a situation where one of the children has a grandmother on the father's side that would love to take care of him. The question is, can they communicate long enough to even get that exchange? Maybe she felt like she couldn't, because if you guys, when you see this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's hard to even get out, for Nikki to even get out a couple words to her. It's certainly not, I don't see a situation where this girl, Alexis, can call Reverend Faith E. Cobb and say, I just, please come get your grandson. And actually take the call or get the text or a message. And she actually is able to just meet her, get the child up, and then go on her way. Because of all the other stuff going on with this situation, they probably wouldn't even answer a phone call. So what is, this is not the way to find out your grandson is out there somewhere. But if you're not talking to them and you're not giving them space to at least come to you to say, I need you to get your grandson, I can't take care of him anymore, then what do you expect her to do? I'm glad she did this than to hurt the child. Thank goodness she did this as opposed to something more heinous and brutal. But she needs to stop procreating.
You know?
Stop making babies. You got 5 kids out there.
And it's
you
like
gave
the
birth
guys
to.
didn't want to
Stop.
help me. They wanted to see me beat. I done lost everything so many fucking times. But you know what? Like I said, I'm gonna come back for them. And as far as the whole,
Well, I don't get it.
As far as the whole foster home thing, like, will it be open? Will I still be able to like see them, bring them gifts and stuff? Like,
what they'll do is they'll set up visitation for you. Usually here at the agency or a designation.
It should be supervised.
Whatever the court orders, and you'll be able to see them weekly.
okay, that's even better that I can still see them.
Oh yeah, you'll get to see them,
And I can still provide for them, right?
Correct.
Birthdays.
Gifts and have all that. Because we're going to encourage that.
Isn't she giving them up because she financially can't afford it?
Give you the help that you need so you're not overwhelmed, and that you can, you know, provide for your kids. I can tell that you care for them. You're just completely overwhelmed. I get that.
Yeah, because like, it's only so much I can do. I mean, I just finished my last medical class today, so it's like I just have to study for my
Who did you go to?
I'm in 2 different colleges right now. One is through OSU for my not.
All right, so we're gonna pause that right there. Now, let me bring up the grandmother, because a lot of people had a lot of questions, and she even had a lot of things that she had to get off her chest. Now, let me read to you what she posted on social media, because that is when we got the answer that the kids were not there. Because a lot of people, Faith, they want to know, if you are the grandmother, could you have taken in the child?
Yes, I've had him most of his life. In fact, he has a whole bedroom in here. He's on the lease. He was on the lease when she abandoned him the first time, because he stayed with me and my son. My son didn't live with him. Back in November up to December of 2019, she dropped off the babies with the woman that she calls Miss Fisher. Now, Miss Fisher is an alcoholic, and in one of the videos, one of the audio.
So I'm going to stop right there, because what I don't like to do is to have so much speculation to where it's confusing. You know, to say someone's an alcoholic, you don't know that for sure. That's an allegation. To say someone's an alcoholic and all this, so how do you know you're not being defamatory? Like, don't do that. Just, she dropped the kids off to a lady that she trusts, and then keep moving with the conversation. Dropping names and accusing her of being alcoholics and stuff is just ridiculous. And this is not the first time she's going to do this. It's going to get worse. So that's the frustrating part of this. And I know how I am on my platform. There are some people out here like myself, NiqueatNite, where we do have some integrity. I saw the viral video on Carlos King's channel. He has a lot. He don't play that on his channel. Like, there are certain rules and policies we have to follow with YouTube, and then it's just certain things that if you want your platform to be respected, you're not going to allow certain things to happen or be said that could cause it to become messy and tainted. And I wouldn't want her name dropping on my channel and accusing people of being alcoholics and stuff like that. It's not necessary to even say any of that. Just say she dropped the kids off. The fact that she gave them over to CPS is more than enough for you to go in. If he lives there, he's on your lease, then go get custody. She still did not just say, I'm going to go get custody tomorrow. I got an emergency petition already filed. I got an attorney. We're ready to go. Like, that's all you need to say. Because that's all. I'm only here because I'm curious as to what's going on with the children. I don't want to hear about all the other stuff. Because it doesn't matter. The young man, her son, is deceased. He can't defend himself or speak for himself. And these other people that, she's sitting here already got one person name dropped and then calling him an alcoholic. They're not here to defend themselves on that. And if they were, they would just be going back and forth all day. You can't prove that someone is an alcoholic. Like, you don't know that. It's probably your assumption. Y'all know church folks are messy too. Church people so messy. Y'all, some reverends are so messy. All right, I'm done.
Those that son recorded of her talking to another man. She left her children with my son to go speak with this man, and she was telling him that my only babysitter for all her boys is this alcoholic, and my son is watching the kids now, her kids. Now, at that time, my grandson wasn't born. This audio here.
Okay, so simple question was asked. Are you interested in getting the child? Yes or no? Yes. He has a room here. He's on my lease. I'm going to be filing a petition. I have an attorney. Or just say you need help getting an attorney. She sounds to be well-spoken. Okay. Are you able to afford an attorney? Because you're going to need one. Custody matters a civil issue. So you don't get the attorney appointed to you. So you're going to have to hire an attorney, or you're going to go in pro se. But at the end of the day, all you need to say is, I'm going to get an attorney. The end. All right, cool, great. That's how most of us want to know about. Because this video caught my attention because a mother gave her 5 children away to CPS, and it went viral. Like, she recorded herself doing it. Maybe this is her way of crying for help. I don't know. But go get him. Go get him. Go find him and go get your grandson, lady. Please. If his father's deceased, your son, and the child's father is deceased, I believe your son will want you to take care of his child. And since he has a room in your home and he's on your lease, that's not a hard transition. Then you can prove that he kind of lives with you. So why haven't she done that yet? That's my thing. Just go do it. You can get a hearing in 48 to 72 hours. I'm telling you. Emergency petition for custody, 48 to 72 hours. At the most, you'll probably have to wait 3 or 4 days for the hearing. But that's something if she would have did that when this video first went out and she first saw it, she would have had the child already. Even if the custody is temporary until they can go to court and make it permanent. Because the girls did say she want to come back and get him. You can present a case as to why she's not fit. And if this isn't the first time she's done this and abandoned them and neglected them, you have more than enough to at least make a case to do temporary sole legal and physical custody of your grandson temporarily until you get a final hearing where you can have that awarded to you permanently. Or at least, go and file a petition to become his legal guardian. Something. That's all we want to know. That's it.
This alcoholic, and my son is watching the kids now, her kids. Now, at that time, my grandson wasn't born. This audio here. She was walking off to talk to that guy and was putting my son down. My son kept that video, and I got that. Audio to an audio. He kept it. But in any event, in 2019, she dropped the children off. My grandson had cuts on his butt from his bottom. I guess being in diapers, I don't know where they came from, but we have the pictures. My son sent them to me. He had to leave work to go get his son. Now, she had the baby upstairs in the hallway. And
better question. Okay, so if you're seeing signs of neglect and you have pictures, that's even more evidence. That goes to show that, the care that your grandson should have received before your son passed away, he wasn't getting it then either. And based on the picture that they showed of the little boy, it looks like he is at least 5 or 6 years old. I think he's in school age. So why didn't he petition for primary physical custody a long time ago? Like, why was this not done once you start seeing these signs and bruises and whatever it is, whether the bruise came from a diaper or a belt, I don't care. I mean, when you start seeing this stuff on the child's bottom, why didn't you go ahead and say, you know what? Nah, we're gonna file a motion to get primary physical custody. And you were there to help support your son and help raise your grandson. Okay, so why would you not at least tell your son, when he first saw that, when the child was a baby 3-4 years ago, to get primary physical custody? I think it's a simple question, and it's almost like the father just, he didn't try to get primary physical custody, and she certainly didn't. She has not tried to get it right now either. She ain't filed a petition for custody. But they're, making it seem as if, oh, she has help. We're willing to get the child. Then go get him. There's things that could have been just done that he probably would have got primary physical. Between the evidence of her abandoning the children, neglecting the children, and now with this video going viral with her dropping them off for CPS, you have more than enough evidence to go and make your case to be granted, even if it's temporary primary custody, physical custody of the child, so that you can get him back into your home and in a loving environment where he's safe and you can take care of him. He's got a room there. He's on your lease. How much, you got pictures of things, even if it was from 3-4 years ago. It shows a history of this. And she did a video herself giving the kids away. Good Lord. File your petition, lady. And it goes off on a tangent and all this other stuff. And it's like, oh,
That's still in his car seat. And the other two were in a closed door upstairs crying. I have one of her boys has a disease in his leg and he was hurting. My son went and got him. This is the many times my son has rescued those children. He brought my grandson to me. And at times, when she tried...
Why did your son bring your grandson to you? Why was he not with you?
I don't know her well enough to understand the evil, except that I have the Holy Ghost, and she's a witch, and so she likes me dislikes me without a cause, and likes to have people argue with her. Not doing that. Drop the baby to me. Everybody kept bringing the baby to me. So I kept him most of his life. He has a huge family.
So it shouldn't be hard for you to get primary physical custody.
In the report, never got a chance to address her report because I'm still working on a murder case and I have to...
You're not an attorney. Stop. That is not for you. If you want to help your son and get closure on that, you're going to have to go to your DA. Go to the prosecutor. You could get court of public opinion to put pressure on the prosecutor to open up an investigation. But you're not the judge or jury in this. You're not the prosecutor. Even if you were, they wouldn't let you investigate your own son's murder. What are you doing? You basically saying this murder case is more of my priority than my grandson getting custody done. Why? There's nothing you can do about that murder case. You're not a prosecutor. You cannot do anything about that other than bring awareness to it. But right now, if you focus on getting your grandson, and then you can also in turn on platforms like this, Nikki got over 330,000 supporters. That's at least 300,000 people that might watch this video. At least 5 minutes of it. That's more than enough people to bring awareness to the murder case and get enough pressure going to where the DA, the prosecutor, wherever she is basically forced to have to open up the case and at least interrogate the mother of the children. But you saying you're working on that, that's not your priority. Your priority should be, how do I honor my son and ensure him that even though he's no longer with us here, I got little man and we're going to be a family. If I want to carry on the legacy of my son, I'm going to go out and get my grandson. And then hopefully in turn, I can bring attention and awareness to the issue with my son's, the suspiciousness of my son's murder and all these things that she's going to start alleging. I'm not going to play this whole video because y'all see it's actually 2 hours, 59 minutes. It's 3 hours long. But I don't accept her saying my priority is here on this murder case. No, it's not. It shouldn't be. It should be on your grandson. Go get him. And then you can help go to the prosecutor or the DA having primary physical custody of your grandson, at least, and saying he deserves closure for his dad's death. I deserve closure for my son's loss. And now you have outpour of people behind you putting that pressure. Make sure to try to get some closure for you regarding your son. Because now you're caring for your grandson. You have him in your custody and your care. you're making him the priority, which is going to help your fight and in your effort to make your son's case a priority as well. I mean, I don't foresee why you can't still get an attorney and do a petition for custody as an emergency motion and a TPO and get the grandson first. There's no excuse to that. I'm sorry. No. Where are these children right now?
Well cared for. In fact, I'll show you a picture here. His pictures are all over the wall like the rest of my family.
See, he looks like he's at least school age.
Okay.
He has.
Right, so somebody in the chat. Okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna pause you there. Someone in the chat says, "Why hasn't the son gone for full custody?" Her son has.
He did. Okay, so when she attacked him,
and she's not letting Nikki ask the question. This is why you got the, I'm sure Nikki tried to prep her. I highly doubt Nikki did not prep her. I'm sure she did. And as a matter of fact, I read some of her comment where she stated she prepped her. And she's not allowing Nikki to finish the question. And she's just talking and going on and getting off a tangent. So she's got to keep redirecting her focus back on simple questions that are being asked. Like, this is the thing that most people are wondering. Are you going to get custody of your grandson? I think once you ease the trouble of that, then you would be able, like I said, you'll be able to bring awareness to your son's case regarding the circumstances of his murder. But you're not going to be able to do it. There's a way to do things in decency and in order. That's in the Bible. That's a whole scripture. Do things in decency and in order. Maybe God wants you to focus on getting your grandson first, and then he will help you get some resolution regarding your son's death. But there's a way to do things in decency and in order, and this ain't it. This is not it. No, ma'am. You're a reverend. You claim to be a reverend. You can't be hypocritical to the Bible. You can't sit here and say they slandering me, but then you go around and slandering other people, calling people alcoholics. You don't get to do that. You have no proof that somebody's an alcoholic. What are you doing? If she sues you, then what? And you'll be mad and be like, oh, look what she's doing to me. You don't get to go on a public platform, call somebody an alcoholic. Not over a sensitive issue like this. No, ma'am.
Oh, my son cried, and she attacked me in emails. I don't know her like that, but she would say stuff like, your mother's a slut. I've been celibate for over my life to take care of my grandson, start being a mother again. I don't mind that. She attacked my son while he protected him from going to a Halloween party that they go to every year.
Okay,
about witches. Okay, and he didn't call the police. The neighbors called them.
Why?
Because if you jump in to the part of the story where like there's this incident at Halloween, and then we go, like, it'll be harder for the audience to.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I just wanted to answer.
Stop over talking, Nikki.
The baseline of, okay, you're available, you're the grandmother, you are willing to take your grandson. I wanted to.
Yes, and I was in graduate school the whole time. I'm in a doctoral program. I'm not dumb in all the things that this ignorant person said, and I'm not going to go back and forth and calling people names and things like that.
But you do that. But you keep doing it. First of all, if you're in school, obviously that's an indication you might not have the time to take care of him full time. If that's the problem, then say that. If it's because you're in school getting your doctoral degree, you might not have the time to commit to full-time parenting. If that's what it is, then be honest and ask your other family members y'all see come up in this thing to help watch him while you go to school. Because otherwise you're still not answering the question about why don't you just file a petition for custody, an emergency petition for custody, because a video went viral of your grandson being given away to CPS. And you have evidence that she's done this multiple times. That's a slam dunk. I don't get it.
And my kids are not stupid either.
Apparently. No one's saying that. We just want to know what are you going to do about your grandson.
She murdered him. And she talks about it.
Oh, no.
Yes.
They gotta take it like as at a build up. Okay?
Okay.
So, before you go again, let me just give everybody a background. So, this is the grandmother of her middle child. So, the woman who went viral, she has 5 children, okay? She has 5 children, and her son has a child with her, and he is the middle child. And then she had 2 girls after that. She had two kids before. Then she had the child that is in the middle, which is her grandson, and then she had 2
kids after that.
2 children after. Now, in the course of them being together, her son and her were dealing with each other. It was a toxic relationship, and while they were dealing with each other, there was an incident where her son passed away. Now,
right, that's how that's framed.
Faith feels strongly that the woman who
may have had a hand in it, but I can't entertain it.
Says that she started to date your son, I want to say 2017 or 2017 they started to date, correct?
I believe it's the earliest part of 2018. He didn't know her very long before she became pregnant.
Okay, so 2018 they started to date. So
that's
once they started to date,
just like that,
what was their relationship like while they were a couple?
When I first knew about her, my son came home with her 2 children, and I asked who they were, and they were calling him dead already. They started calling me grandma, and he said that he was babysitting her sons so that she can go to work as a nurse aide. That she was working as a nurse aide. Well, at this point, we didn't know she was a stripper, and that was really distressing for my son. We finally found out.
I know Nikki
when she
got
finally met
inside
me,
her mind right
she
now.
introduced
like,
herself
God, lady.
and quickly told me that the 2 children she had were by rape, which is,
yeah, you gonna get everybody blocked.
I can explain. There's no explanation. When you say a person raped you,
our
her mother
word.
consented to that. But then
Our
by the time
word.
she had the second
you
one,
gonna
she was
get everybody
18.
blocked.
They were engaged. He even proposed to her on Facebook. And if you can find those posts that she's made about vacays in 2015, that she complained that he didn't want to come get his kids. No, I mean, you don't.
I don't care.
Also,
about what
are
happened 2015.
his children about a person that raped you. You want your kids to be with the person that raped you. She had been telling my son that and told my son that he also raped his children.
Our word.
Also are his children while he was watching the P Word. And I that's one of the videos that they seem to have something. She didn't show me and prove to me that she gave that to him. But she said in some way. So they didn't act on the threat, the second one, on his life. And the location of his phone, it wasn't in his car. The only phone that he would have would be mine. Then he borrowed a blue phone at 3 a.m. Alex and I had just moved in an apartment that I got for him and the baby. The baby was with us the whole time from November to March. She had abandoned him from November to March and abandoned the boys to their father. And remember, my son went and picked them up at Robin's house. He had to leave his job.
Who's Robin? I don't like
my grandson
drop like we all know who that is.
And my son, before he even made it home, he sent us a picture of the cuts on my grandson's butt. Okay, so
you have enough evidence to say this child has had injuries incurred in the mother's care in the past. There's been a history of domestic violence and domestic disputes between my son, who's not deceased, and the mother. She has abandoned them previously. She did it again, and this time it went viral. Like, you have enough to go on to say in the court of law that I am requesting emergency hearing to get primary physical custody of my grandson because of all these factors. And then you take your evidence. Your attorney, I'm telling you right now, the viral video alone will probably be enough, but your attorney would know how to present that case with all the other evidence to at least justify the child being with you and a TPO. I can't fathom why you still have not done that. Like, why didn't you at least file an emergency petition for custody? And then you could do the TPO and add that on the docket, be one big petition. Or get your attorney to file something to initiate a case. And they can combine the two, TPO as well as primary physical custody, and get that knocked out as an emergency hearing. You can have that literally scheduled within a week and probably get your grandson. So it won't even matter where he is. That court order would now give you the authority to go get him. So wherever CPS sent your grandson to, if you get a court order giving you primary physical custody and the TPO granted, then you take that to CPS and say, I have an order from a judge now in the court saying that I have primary physical custody and there's a TPO in place. Where is my grandson at? Give me the address and the information so I can go get him. Because they wouldn't be able to tell you no if you get a court order. But you still not explaining why you just can't do that first. And that would not take time for you to do. Get an attorney. You can't afford one, then you're going to have to do a GoFundMe. People probably be more willing to help you if that is what you're trying to do as opposed to this here. I'm fast forwarding through it. Y'all want to see this? It's on NiqueatNite YouTube channel. It's 3 hours long and I just can't even do it. I couldn't barely get through 30 minutes.
Every day up until March something. And on March...
You got to be clear with the... Like, you talking about the first incident or the final incident?
Yeah, this is after the first incident, actually.
We're talking about the circumstances
we just had gotten in place.
Their son's death.
She abandoned the kids. She had him killed. Let him know that she had him killed. The only guy that was in the room, but the other
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that.
And when they finished, give that one, by the way, Reese said that he had it too, and his mother caused them to frame this woman, Shaby Flowers. They didn't even show up at the hearings, but they made it look like they sentenced his life in 2014, handed him a pill, told him that
2014 is irrelevant.
So you kind of have to be more like,
he literally died. Okay, he literally died, and he was brought back to life by CPR.
No.
Okay,
he was unconscious.
January 4th. He was
telling the
doctor,
out, but he was revived. That's how it goes.
He was telling the doctor, I don't do drugs. Somebody, my youngest one, she called the detective and played the audio for him so he could get his messages.
Talking about all the circumstances.
And he goes, what happened? He told him what happened. He told Sasha Ray, the people that are always involved. He's protecting his baby. And he would care for her.
And she goes on and on. She doesn't even take time to let Nikki ask her
getting them to school and all. And so he would wake up and he would do her due diligence. He had broken down her door several times to go get the kids. The last time, he broke it down and got the kids out. And Jonathan,
her other son, and so he wants to chime in because the audio.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, so I want to clarify because I'm getting a little riled up too. But what I want to
y'all gotta stay calm because none of this is helping anything. No one understands what's going on.
So in his mind, he's like, "Listen, hey, if I got to be a bitch to make sure I'm around my brother and my mom." So he was baby Alex, with his father, like, "Yo, I'm going to Miami. I need to make this money." She would literally stay around her is so that she wouldn't weaponize the kid against him. Like he wanted to be in his kid's life. That's all that was about.
Alex had custody. Yeah, custody. Okay. And in mediation, so he shared. He didn't have to share. He could have kept custody after she attacked him while he tried to protect the baby. And I just wanted the one incident where she left her children at night hungry at home, abandoned them. And
that's more than enough evidence to get primary physical custody as an emergency hearing.
Leaving her kids or whatever, so she could do it this time. In her earlier video, she would give him money to flip drugs, Percocets. And she became ill. She thought she had COVID. She was saying how she's trying to get them to take the children for her at CPS.
I don't even know who all these people are. One is a son. One is another son. I don't know who that lady is.
They attacked him around the 12th, and they called to get there. But I stayed with him all night long. I made her leave at nightmares while he was with me from CPS. He said, one of the nurses said that they were bug bites. He was not well, called me mommy. And now he calls me killing people and seeks to be him.
That's more of a reason for you to get custody, lady. Reverend Faithy Cobb, go get custody.
It was her that touched him in his bottom. To know that they told me that she canceled it because she was getting for my grandson. That she hit my
Nikki got
son.
the patience
He
of a
has
turtle.
placed your grandson in someone else's care and you already have suspicion that something happened, you don't think that it's a priority to get your grandson first? Because I know that you want to get justice for your son, which I'm not saying is not important, which it is important.
But the child is first. I'm sorry. The priority is the child.
I feel like, wouldn't the grandson have to be more of a priority first?
Yes. It's an absolute priority. In my
file your
state,
petition.
If another parent kills the other parent, then they lose
you
their
can't
custody
prove
as well.
that. That's not going to be.
They're going to be convicted.
Stop. You can't prove that. It's futile to sit here and to talk about the circumstances of your son's case and him being deceased when you cannot prove that she did it. You can't prove that. And right now, if you can't prove that, your state, I don't care what state you're in, if you do an emergency petition for custody of a child, you're alleged has been abused, neglected, abandoned, and then the mother put it on a video that she turned the kids over to CPS and that video went viral. You don't need anything else. You don't need to unveil the big plan of what happened to your son. I can barely even comprehend. Oh Lord, the trauma these kids have gone through, being neglected and abandoned, and then you add, CA on top of that. I can't. That's traumatic for them. That's traumatic. You don't think CPS will gladly send you the address of where your grandson is if you were to get granted primary physical custody with a court order? They wouldn't have a choice. They would have to tell you where he is. And then help you get there if need be. They go pick him up. And then you can talk about the circumstances with your son. But this is what's so irritating. She's sitting here saying, yes, he's definitely a priority. But in 2014, they tried to drug my son. Like, your son would want you to go get your grandson. I think that would be more of what he would want you to do as a priority right now than to try to solve a riddle where you have zero evidence about all these circumstances going back to 2014 and 2015. I'm not interested in anything that happened prior to the son meeting this girl and procreating well. Because anything before that would be irrelevant in any petition for custody hearing anyway. They're not going to care about all the other stuff. The judge will tell you that, and they're not doing it to be, insensitive. They will tell you that because they can't spend 4 hours listening to you go on and on something where you don't have that evidence, and they're not going to let you falsely accuse someone of something like murder like that without evidence. Especially considering the fact that it seems like she was even charged with that. So they will not let you do that in court. You can't go on these 3-hour rants in court, lady. Especially for custody, which is a civil proceeding. You're going to have to go get custody of your child, or your grandson. And then you can sit here and bring awareness to what happened to his dad. But you do realize that these kids one day is going to watch these videos. I would hate for Nikki to take this down, to be honest with you. Please don't do that. Because then it's kind of like, well, yeah, I will read the comment in a minute.
This is important. When she went to this man
more
looking for
important
someone to kill him, said he's trying to take my son. Somebody shouldn't kill him. I told them to break his legs or something, but
if there's anything that you want to chime in on,
let me do that because I didn't want to. The reason why even if
the
my
mother
mom tried to get custody,
all
they keep doing is putting him back with her.
It doesn't matter now. You got a stronger
They
case.
see what's going on and they keep putting him back with her. So it's a moot point.
No, it's not. Nope. No, sir. Your mother would not have a problem getting custody. It's not a moot point. Because the girl literally recorded herself giving them up to CPS and telling them she can't do it. She might get him back, but it's only so many times the court is going to allow these kids to be traumatized with this neglect and abandonment. If she cannot take care of 5 kids she should have never had, then they're not going to, at some point, they're going to have to say, listen, it's in the best interest of these children to give them some sort of stability in life. We're not going to keep allowing her to come back and forth, because that's traumatizing to the kids. It's neglectful. It's abandonment. If there's history of CA behind that, and y'all got pictures and stuff of bruises and cuts and all this other stuff, signs of CA and abuse, they're not going to give her back custody. They're going to be like, look, first, you gave it up voluntarily. Secondly, you said that it would be temporary, but yet we've been here down this road so many times. We can't trust that, you're going to be in a position 2 years from now, a year from now, 6 months from now, to still take care of 5 kids. 5. You claim you don't have any support. Here's the support here. Give her grandson. This is nuts. It's not a moot point. It's a fact that y'all haven't even filed the petition for it. So you don't know what can happen. Get an attorney. It's a moot point to say all this other stuff, and you can't even prove you filed a petition for custody. All this other stuff in 2014, 2015, that's a moot point. All that's moot. None of that is valid and makes any sense. It's not applicable to anything. And this video didn't go viral because of the circumstances of the son, which is horrific. It went viral because people are intrigued about what's going on with these 5 kids.
Focus is making sure that this case is settled, because first of all, she's a murderer, and second
that's not
of all,
for her to do.
they're
That's
just going to keep on
prosecutor.
putting him in the system to get him back with a mother who clearly does not want her kids.
More of a reason why you should file a petition.
Get a proper investigation, and as I said, I'm not just alleging she killed my son. I was told she killed my son.
You told that's hearsay. That is hearsay.
I love those.
That's hearsay. So I can say moot point on stuff, but they don't understand terms like hearsay. I was told she did this. By who? That is hearsay. And it can be defamatory. You falsely accusing someone of murder. That is hearsay. Who told you that? Because the only time it would matter is if a judge gave a verdict or ruling, or a jury gave a ruling saying that she is guilty of murdering somebody based on evidence and the facts of the case. You being told that by someone is hearsay. And that is a moot point. Where is the child? Where are the children?
Oh, and she told me what they were saying. That's what occurred there. The nurses start letting his fluids out. I called the coroner, who cut my head, investigated because they've been dead or a vegetable. Then changed his story. That it's because of all the it had those are the supporting that she talked about. May said that they did it again. She was just going to
clarify some things. Also, Lex is in the chat. I don't know how you. I don't want it to get messy, but if she wants to talk to you, would you be opposed to that?
There's nothing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't let her on here.
Wait a minute, John.
Wait, why? If it means you all getting your grandson. This is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying earlier. You're not going to give her the opportunity to tell you, I need help. Can you get the grandson? Y'all can hate her all day, but if you're concerned about the grandson, and this is the only way you can find out where he is, wouldn't you want to just at least say, come on, only if she going to tell us where the child is? That could have been the only stipulation. And the moment she failed to do that, then Nikki could have kicked her behind out. But I would have been like, only if she going to tell where my grandson is and give me custody. I want to hear 2 things out of her mouth. An address of where he is, and her relinquishing her rights and giving me and agreeing for me to get custody of my grandson. That's it. If she's not saying those 2 things, then kick her behind out of here. But if this is the only way to find out where your grandson is, your answer should be yes. And then you can hate her later. What
Never been a genuine person. Anytime Alexis, who always talks about him, and have the receipt.
How is he helping you get your grandson?
Over to the side. She knows she's lying, and you can tell
she did that viral. The girl is crazy. Now the issue with the autopsy. Let's get back to that real quick. Y'all y'all got to stay with me here. Keep in mind.
No. I don't. Nope.
Been silent. So, and somebody in your family, Judy, is backstage. Who's that?
He's talking to me.
Somebody backstage named Judy. Who's that?
I don't know, Judy.
Faith, do you know who Judy? Let me just see. Who's this? Judy. Okay, I don't know who that is. Okay,
I'm looking at the toxicology report. After 8 hours of the dialysis that had my son on, he had 13 mgs of fentanyl and 3.3 mgs of non-fentanyl.
How do we get back on that? Why is she bringing that up out of nowhere? What just happened here? Nikki trying to figure out who's coming in her live on her platform, and she just came out of. I'm looking at the toxicology here. Like, you can't dominate the conversation, Reverend Faithy Cobb. The Lord said sometimes you need to be silent, because right now you're not even telling people how you plan on getting your grandson. So I don't even know why this is 3 hours long if none of it involved you showing us a petition on you trying to get custody. Like, I would have said, bring the girl in if she's going to tell me where my grandson is. And make this easier for all of us and give me my grandson, and then she can go kick rocks. I would have done this if it means getting this girl on and have her come in just so she can tell me where my grandson is. Yeah, bring her in. Where my child? Where my baby? Whew.
And tested positive for the acetafentanyl. My sons after they killed them. They fear when they run when nobody's.
And to them, there's been a lot saying, I know what is being told and what's being said, so I wasn't.
Okay, but y'all not getting it from a judge or jury. We can't.
I haven't given the link out to anybody but you and Anna. So the J person clicked on again. I don't know who that is. The person Jay clicked on, I haven't given the link out to anybody but you guys. So this has to be somebody that I haven't given the link out to anybody but you and Anna. So the J person clicked on again. I don't know who that is. Are you guys expecting somebody else to click on?
No, that might be that girl playing games.
I didn't give her the link. She don't have the link.
Oh, okay. That's all I can think of.
I put the link on Facebook. I asked my son's friends to join in. And I put the link to
who's Jay?
Why? Why? What? She has no idea how social media works. What? You put that on Facebook? And y'all don't expect this girl to see that? Like, she can't see what's on Facebook. Somebody gonna tell her, hey, your son's grandmama on Facebook, she put a link up. You might want to hop in on that call. That's how she got it. What are you talking? Why would you put that on Facebook and advertise that? This shit for real? I would be livid. I don't think I would be able to go on with this live. You put this link on Facebook, lady? Why? That's not how this works. That is not how this works. No, ma'am. You don't go put a link like this for a live with this much tension on Facebook. Why? I want my son's friends to hop on. Wait, how are you going to get custody of your grandson? None of this is helping you get custody of your grandson. None of it. None of this is helping anything. You are not an attorney or prosecutor or DA. It is not for you to solve anything. It is, if anything else, you get custody of your grandson, as I said, and then you get the court of public opinion and get pressure put on the prosecutor or the DA to open an investigation on your son's case surrounding his murder. That's all you need. You don't. If his death was ruled a homicide, it should have been an investigation either way. What was reported on the death certificate? I mean, we just had to entertain this for 5 minutes, 6 seconds. What was the ruling on the death certificate from the coroner? Did he have an autopsy done? Did they rule it to be a homicide? If they did, it would have automatically initiated an investigation, a homicide investigation, and that's it. Right now, you're doing too much. Why would you put that link on Facebook for your son's friends to hop on this? No, everybody can see that link. Like,
I want to block you. Who are you? Hello? Jay,
this is irritating.
Jay. Okay, let me just block this person. Because I don't know who that is. Oh, I kicked them off right when they were unmuting their mic. Sorry.
Now she got to worry about these people hopping on her live.
Let's get back to the story. I understand that it's triggering. It is. Somebody said Jay is in the audience. I don't know who Jay is. I didn't share the link to nobody, so that's why I'm like.
That's why you don't do that, because you don't want everybody hopping on your live.
It's going on. Yeah, so it's not. It has to be whoever she gave the link to, because I didn't give the link to anybody.
She gave it to everybody. Right, she put it on Facebook.
Now,
she gave it to the world. Let's get back to the story. So
I'm
flabbergasted.
You had a couple of receipts that you wanted to share. There was one
on Facebook.
Okay, Jay is back. Who is this? Because it's making me mad now.
Yes, this is why you don't give out the link.
Jay,
we watching the show.
They just watching the show. Got it. No one. They're probably a sub or a supporter.
Okay, this is somebody that you
playing games, and ain't nobody got time for.
Why did you all put that link on Facebook then? Ain't nobody got time for games. Y'all put the link out there for the world to see.
I knew it wasn't nobody that I gave it to, so that's why I'm like, who is this? I don't know if it's y'all family or something. So anyway, they playing.
This is why you don't post links.
Yeah, so if you could delete whatever posts you put up, because
yes, do that.
Just a moment.
Yeah, I don't never share the link publicly unless I'm putting it in the YouTube
delete
chat
it now, Reverend Faith Ecop.
Because
now,
it'll
delete it now.
me about like what's happening here.
Okay.
All right.
I'm even more irritated the fact she's sitting there real calm about it. Yeah, just 1 minute. I'll do it in a minute. No, I need you to do it now, or I'm gonna freeze this live streaming. I know Nikki Cook gave her the rules on this stuff. I know. This is why you don't share it. Why would you think that would be okay without asking Nikki, can you share a link of her live stream on her platform? Why would you not ask her, give her the respect she deserves to ask her about that and ask her if that's okay? Because I guarantee you, all of us that care about our platform here on YouTube would have told you no, Reverend Faithy Cop. We would have said, no, we don't want you sharing our live stream link. No, ma'am. Do not do that. That's going to bring in too much traffic, and it's going to be nothing but distracting. And if you don't want to have any issues with somebody out there, especially when you're name dropping people and accusing people of being alcoholics and murderers, you don't want them to get my link to come on my live. You would not want that. So no, ma'am. That's logic. In all things, use wisdom. You're a reverend. That's a whole scripture. Do things in decency and in order, and in all things use wisdom. That's not even wise to do that. No logic in that. There's no reason to do that. You're introducing chaos and confusion and messiness the moment you put that link up on Facebook, and then you're taking your time about removing the post. Child boo.
All right, so
how she get
there was what was it? There was a message that you wanted to share that she sent to your son. So
at 1 o'clock, he dropped no drugs in his system.
Okay,
okay, so in 2015, she said that in 2015
about them handing my son a pill. They handed, and Donald Davis, who's her brother, who had this topic. It was 2014, June.
So why are you bringing it up?
2014. I had the medical record. I'm highly involved in my children's.
He did. So somebody handed him a pill. How old was he?
Yes, let me clarify. So he was still underage in 2014. Back in 2014, he was still underage.
Brother say he underage.
The reason I know it's that he died kind of like in that same way, but during that time he was still underage.
To age of my son.
How old was he in 2014?
20. He was born in 1994.
I'm sorry, that's not underage, sir. Ye who uses terms like moot. You can use a term like moot Please understand the legal age in the United States of America is 18 across the board in every state. So, anything that happened in 2014, 2015, that's a moot point. And you're talking about him getting some medicine or somebody hand him a pill or something. And he was 20 years old. That's not underage. Underage is under 18, sir. What does this have to do with, where's the baby? Where is the grandchild? Where's the grandchild?
To die, and they didn't call me. And let me fill you in. Sasha, because that phone is actually mine. He had to borrow it because the girl kept destroying his phones. He borrowed my phone, and he didn't have that password. He knew to call her. He had the number, but he didn't get it from my son's phone.
He knew to call. Okay, so
Sasha Ray. I'm sorry.
Wait. Okay, yeah. So the person, because I don't want to say too many names. I don't want to.
Okay, let me fill you in.
Thank you. We can't do that.
Is the daughter. Sasha Ray.
You don't want to dox people.
SS is the daughter of the babysitter that she talked about.
Bro.
That was drunk
Nikki, how
when my
you
son
do
picked
this?
up
You can
the
tell
kids.
she getting irritated.
And they had an incident where they even the kid got burned over there or somewhere near.
Wait,
lady. You all
again,
over the place.
I know this is very triggering for you, and I know it's emotional, and I know that you have a lot that you want to get out. But I want everybody to be able to follow, because it sounds like we started in 2015, and then you start talking about.
Okay, I'm just telling you who the people are.
I don't care who they are. Where's the grandchild? I don't care who they are.
You have to. Okay, so wait. Okay, so listen. Whenever. Okay, so.
It has to do with it.
Stop talking, Reverend Faith. Listen to her.
Wait. There could. Okay, so anytime I present information, you have to even though I did the live, I conducted the live, I talked to her, I know things.
You got to talk to us as if we don't know who they are.
Before giving away the children using a profile called Just.
I don't even want to know their names because I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about these people's names. I don't care. I don't care what happened in 2014 or 2015 when that is not the reason why we're here. Over 330,000 subs for NiqueatNite are not watching this video if they even got this far, because it's almost like Chinese torture. Girl, you got the patience of a turtle dove. Ooh, child. Oh my God. I don't know how you do this. How did you do this? How did you get through this 3 hours? Lord have mercy. I don't care what happened in 2014 or 2015 because the video did not go viral based on what happened in 2014 or 2015 when your 20-year-old son at the time took a pill from someone. This video is viral because a mother gave away 5 children CPS on live stream, and one of the children's paternal grandmothers wanted to speak out. But she's not talking about how to get the child in custody, in her custody and care. I don't want to hear anything else about that. I don't watch this video for that. I didn't watch this video to hear you talk about all that other stuff, calling people alcoholics and murders and stuff. You talking about somebody told you something that's hearsay. I don't want to hear. You got to go through the right channels and do things in decency and in order. You cannot solve the mystery of your son's homicide. If it's ruled as a homicide, it might not even be ruled as that. The coroner may not have even noted on his death certificate that it was a homicide. It could have been listed as a suicide. It could have been listed as an accidental death, OD, overdose. It could have been listed as a myriad of things. If it was listed and warranted as a homicide, they would have done an investigation. If somebody was charged, nobody went to prison over it. I've never heard this case, and I understand she wants to bring awareness to it. This isn't the way to do it. And you're going on and on about things that just don't even make sense. Throwing people's names out there. Nikki is trying her best to keep her on point and on topic, asking simple questions that don't require 18-minute answers. You're going all over the place about stuff that makes no sense to no one, and none of that stuff will hold up in court, sir, since you know how to use the term moot. A judge will find that to be moot. Most of the stuff she's presenting in this video to Nikki would not be admissible in court. Hearsay is not admissible evidence. That would be moot. I mean, if you're going to use a term, understand its full definition and concept. That's all I'm saying. This is not the way to do it. This isn't.
This harass.
Where is the child?
Is a profile she used to harass another girl who she thinks his name let her go because she was innocent and had the police record to do with any drugs. He can't.
So the audience there. Okay, so Jonathan, if you could chime in to kind of give us a reset, because she knows who these characters are, but we have to kind of like, if we're introducing a person into the story, like you have to start.
Do you have questions about how to get custody? That's what I'm curious about.
Let me just clear this up. I think we need to move on from 2014.
I think we need to move on from all of that.
She's really trying to bring everybody into the story so she can give you relevance as to those same people.
It's not relevant. It's not relevant. It wouldn't be relevant in court either.
TV, and even the guy who we spoke to, no weed, no nothing. All of this stuff that's going on right now, I know we're not lying. She literally interest by placing.
It's not about lying. It's about what you can prove.
And who said on video?
It's not about whether we think you're telling the truth or lying. It's what you can prove in court, because what we think is moot. What would a jury believe based on the evidence and the finding of the facts of the case, sir? Don't use terms like that you don't understand, because I don't think he understands the definition of the term moot. None of this will be important in a court hearing on any homicide investigation of any sort. Who was charged in this? If they start with how the death was ruled by the coroner on the death certificate, if it was listed as a homicide, suicide, OD, accidental, natural causes, whatever. If they would just list that, if it was an accident, if it was something that happened, if they would just start with that and say what's on the death certificate and go from there, I mean, it would be easy to say, okay, if it's not ruled a homicide, I can't allow you all to come on my platform and accuse people of murder and committing homicide if the death itself was not ruled as a homicide on the death certificate. We cannot do that. That would be moot. Ugh.
Hopefully you can pull up those receipts. We said in recording.
It's not receipts. That's hearsay from text messages from other people. Y'all, we don't even know who these people are.
Literally saying ha ha ha.
Wasn't being thorough.
Saying ha 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 is not an admission of guilt of homicide.
Yes. In order.
In order.
It doesn't.
Thank you. In order.
And going
BCC and in order.
Bouncing from here to there to there to there.
We're all over the place.
I wanted to start from the beginning of the story, how you met her, how you came to know her, your son got with her, how things went from there, and then introduce the timeline that way, and then you can introduce the receipts. Like, that's kind of easier for the audience to follow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
the complicated thing about it, and I'll do it, I have to make a copy and blur it with my Nimbus program so that I can hide people's names and numbers the way that you like.
Fine, but you shouldn't be saying the names and accusing them of being alcoholics and committing homicide.
Somebody said something about the family having a criminal background. No. My mom.
Okay, we're not asking about that.
My point is when it's easier for you guys to go in and get them, though. Like, in the past, they kept giving.
It's not that
she wants y'all to see, like, yo, I don't want these kids.
Okay,
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
At this point is when it's easier for you guys to go in and get them, though.
Yes,
like in the past,
it is.
They kept giving.
It's not that easy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Recent recording.
Many people would disagree with you.
And I recorded that conversation for this very reason.
No. It would be that easy. It would be easy for you to get custody. She needs an attorney. Her son needs to tell her mom, we're going to have to get an attorney. Because right now, this is not getting us anywhere. And we are going on people's platforms that have over 330,000 subs. God bless you, NiqueatNite. I wish I could see half of that in my channel. But, we getting this attention. And the last thing we want to do here is paint this picture like it's so difficult to get our grandson or get the child when she gave him up. You got evidence of CA. You got evidence of previous abandonment and neglect issues. You got evidence to prove she's violent. You got evidence of all these things that would help you get custody. What are you talking about? Many attorneys would disagree with him or her. It's not that easy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Even if she try to come back They can contest it. This is why it would probably be initially set as temporary. Then they would give you so much time to get your case together, to get to a point where you can have a final hearing, and then establish custody from there. The fact that she recorded herself giving up her children is a slam dunk already. The history of the CA, neglect and abandonment, and all the other issues that the DV, all the things that the kids have witnessed has been traumatizing, all this stuff, the instability and all this stuff. That's like the cherry on top. It wouldn't even. She's saying it doesn't matter. It's not easy. Yes, it is. What's not easy is this 3-hour interview.
When she took the kids into CPS,
well, she's just talking on about stuff that makes no sense.
And I asked them to send him to me. They told me I had to do new fingerprints since the time they sent him back from that 2022 and took him back to her. They said I had to do new fingerprints. When I called them in, I said, I'm on my way to do the fingerprints. Do you need to come do a walkthrough? They said, no, we made other arrangements. That's what they did.
So you're going to have to go to court.
I have to file for custody outside of the court. I have to use her last known address.
Go to court. What are you talking about? Go to court. Go to court, bro. Go to court. Go to court, Reverend Faithy Cobb. I'm saying bro to her son. Go to court. Fine. Go to court. Do an emergency petition. Ask for an emergency hearing. Go to court. CPS cannot violate a court order from a judge. They would follow that court order and say, here's the address. You're more than welcome to go get them. Screw the fingerprint stuff. Go to court. My mind is blown. It's blown away. I'm blown. My mind is blown.
Take it from there. This is somebody that is not a reasonable person. We are not criminal type people. In fact,
it doesn't matter. Go to court.
Reese just started coming around. That's what occurred. We don't do those kind of things. I took time as a single mother of 4 children to homeschool my kids.
Go to court.
About God. I'm not no crazy person. My father's a center. All the way up to the age of 11, I was my son and support. I didn't know him like deceased as well. Just beginning to develop. Oh, yes, his exploded.
Wait, what? You said
I ordered that for Alex, so Alex would know what killed his father. What happened? His father.
Oh, dad is deceased as well.
Yes, his father